Good morning. Here we are now for a new in-depth review of the New Balance MT610v4, which is the fourth iteration of this family of racked all-terrain shoes, which are designed both for the trekker and the runner, intended as, let's say, trustworthy companion to tackle any kind of terrain, from the, let's say, wide forest roads to those tricky rock outcroppings up in the mountains. Now, as for its numbers, it's a light shoe, actually, with 310 grams for a size 9.5. And it's got a drop of 12 millimeters from the heel to the toes, which is to say it's a bit classic, old style. Whereas nowadays many running shoes tend to have a lower drop and keep you closer to the ground. And but particularly, perhaps its strongest point is that superb value for money, because despite all this heavy protection with, let's say, imitation leather and the outsole, which is 4 millimeters prominence, and all this protection and tying up this goes for only 70 euro in recommended price for Europe, or 75 bucks. In example, at Zappos, you can find them for 75 bucks outright. So, as for the insole, you've got a comfortable one, let's say, plain, and 5 millimeters, which in fact also opens up some room, for you to consider stepping into a, let's say, lighter and thinner outsole in case you had any problem. So, which kind of users will be especially happy with this MT610? Well, definitely trekkers would love it. It's a very, very light and well protected, trekking shoe, if you consider it that way. But also ultra runners would be very happy with this shoe, not only because of its great value for money, but also because it is a trustworthy and efficient companion. I mean, let's face it, if you're gonna tackle 100k races or 100 miles, you're happy if you're able to go beyond 3-4 miles per hour. Actually, just a few people are able to push that, and that average speed, is more than convenient for this kind of design. It's thick, it's sturdy, but it's also reliable and comfy. And after all, when you're going over 20-30 hours on the road, that's actually what you want, out in the trails. Which shoes are, let's say, its closest competitors? Well, on the one hand, perhaps the Asics Trabuco 3, but the Asics Trabuco 3 usually costs about 50 bucks more, 40 to 50 bucks more. Is it worth it? It is also a far heavier shoe. This goes for 310 grams, whereas the Trabuco goes for 350 grams. I mean, it's a big difference. 40 grams out of 360. I mean, big deal. And as for the quality, in terms of protection, comfortability, and the traction you get by the rubber, which is perhaps the weakest spot we can find here, technically speaking, in this New Balance, it's more than a match for the Trabuco, because the Trabuco slippery condition in wet rock is legendary, actually. It's a bit more complex when we compare the MT610 with the Cascadia. Here are my own Cascadia 10 after over 200 miles of running with them. And as you can see, they don't really seem any heavy wear. They are in very good shape, especially the outsole, where Brooks has done a tremendous job with this 10th version. And it does boast the same 4 millimeter prominence, outsole, but the way they are spread is more convenient when you go into mud or let's say wet rock or stuff. So in those terms, point for Cascadia, which might balance their handicap in terms of pricing. I mean, they double the price in Europe, which is 140 euros versus 70 euros. You may have 2 pairs of New Balance for 1 pair of Cascadia. That's something to consider. And also in terms of weight, I mean, this is 310 grams, this is 330 grams, 20 grams. Not that big of a deal, but still something to consider. However, they run more smoothly, the Cascadias, than of course the New Balance do. So it's not an easy thing. Just keep it in mind and think of it. Obviously, this is related to a product strategy by New Balance, because if you want to run fast and long, then we offer you the New Balance Leadville, you know, which is even lighter than the 610. It's below 300 grams, and with 8mm drop, same as Cascadia. Well, Cascadia is 10mm, but both drops are more modern than the 12. But this is the way we handle it. So let's say the Cascadia is sandwiched between these 2 offerings by New Balance. So net, how would you sum up? This is a tremendous value for money at 70 euro or 75 bucks. If you are a trekker, an occasional runner, or if you are heavily into ultra running out in the trails, or if you would like a trusty companion for logging in, let's say, over 30 miles per week, you know, and making your money go a long way with you. Well, thanks for staying with us, and we'll be bringing you more info as we progress with our in-depth review. Basically, we will be running this zoo between 150 and 300 miles, and then come back to you to see how the durability has shown up and how has it performed in actual heavy treatment. Thanks very much. See you.